most of my morning relearning Linux commands.
Oh yeah.
Well, because I may talk about it for like a couple minutes, but it's pretty neat, and I'll, okay, here we go, we're up. So yeah, I may mention it at some point.
Sudo. Do you use the sudo command, or
Yeah,
does it
yeah.
want to have to? Okay. I know some Linux operating systems don't require to use the
Mm-hmm.
sudo command, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and I'll kind of talk about like what I'm running and stuff like that, because there's like 100 different flavors of Linux out there.
Right, right.
So, okay, so
Oh shit! I need Audacity open. It's early.
you need to change your topics and stuff in the episode number.
Oh yeah. See, I wasn't ready.
And this is why
This is
I
why
wanted
we
to see
check.
the preview.
All right. We're gonna call it the Battlefront debate. I was thinking that might be the
Have like a TIE
title.
fighter, like right in the middle in
Yeah,
between
right.
us.
No, a TIE fighter on my side because I'm Sith. Well, my name's Luke though, and then have a X-wing on the other battling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, like actually like shooting the lasers. Yeah. Have the
And
Death
we're
Star
like
in the
this.
middle. Have the Death Star in the middle too, or like back behind us, but centered, but
Right,
behind us in the
right.
backdrop. Yeah.
And then we just gotta be like
Mm-hmm.
looking at each other.
Yeah.
The Battlefront debate, Uncharted. Oh, we'll just call it Nathan Drake up in ya. um. Halo bro news.
Oh, you got some Halo news?
I do, yeah. Yeah. What else? Is that it?
Yeah, I mean the rest is just gonna kind of be fluff or whatever, if we even get to it. So.
Alright.
All right, so usual, we'll do 3, 2, 1, go for the Audacity visual 5-second countdown. We'll do date and time introduction.
Video.
You hit the video, and we'll jump right in. I don't really care where we start today, is in terms of topics.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So are you good for Audacity?
Yep, it's ready.
All right, on go. 3, 2, 1, go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of The Old Noodle. As per usual, I am Aaron, and joining us as always.
I am Luke, and it's
Yeah.
7:25 my time.
Yeah, 10:25 here on the eastern side. So go ahead and throw up that vid.
All right.
Yeah, all right. So we'll go ahead and hop right in. We've decided to kind of take a little bit of a break from Destiny. Of course, when I say a little bit of a break, I still think that trumped the entire week of everything else that we played.
Oh yeah.
But so I guess to better put it, we took a step back a little bit from playing Destiny for this week. So as I'm sure when listening to this, it'll be over. Most likely.
Mm-hmm.
But the Star Wars Battlefront beta was out this weekend, and which I guess I should actually say. Did we say that it was October 10th today?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
No.
they're
Yeah.
good.
So it's Saturday, October 10th. Sorry, we normally throw that in there. We're getting better though. We're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So this weekend, or I guess this week, is what it came out Wednesday, I think.
The 9th to the 12th. So. Oh,
I thought it was the
Oh
8th.
no, 8th.
Yeah.
So Thursday.
Okay. Yeah. I knew it was like middle of the week or something like that. But yeah, so we've been kind of dabbling in that a little bit, and of course there's not very much to go on, right? Like there's the one like really fast-paced game mode, which is Drop Zone, which is, what is that, 4v4?
It's up to it's 16 total, so 8v8.
Oh, so 8v8.
We
Okay.
just it was weird because the first night we played, we were getting into 8v8 games, and then last night we were
Last night
doing
was like 4v4.
yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. But at any rate, where you have one objective and you basically each team is fighting to control an objective and it has a countdown timer essentially,
And it's
right?
a lot
So
smaller of a map.
yeah, very much smaller of a map. So I mean, let's hop right in. Like, so you and I were talking, and you played it while I was still at work, and I was kind of taken aback a little bit by what
What
your
I sent to you?
first impression was. I mean, so I mean, kind of, and I told you to shut up because we were going to talk about it today. So
Yeah.
so I mean, like, kind of elaborate on
First
your first impressions. Yeah.
Was it really felt like every other game I've ever played.
Mhm.
Every other first-person shooter, it did not feel like Star Wars. The only thing Star Wars about it was the music, the sounds of the lasers, and then of course you know, your actual person, like a rebel or a stormtrooper.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, the content. You would say that the content and well, I mean, I guess you could just leave it at that. You don't have to get any more specific. But so you would say that the content is definitely Star Wars, but the gameplay mechanics. But I mean, here's the thing,
It
though.
was not like Star Wars. Like it didn't meet my Star Wars fantasy. Like I feel like the old Battlefront game offered more than what this one did.
Maybe, and again, like and now I'm trying to like dig into the memory banks of how Battlefront was when they were relevant. And aside from it just being third person, because at the time there was like Call of Duty, Big Red 1 and stuff out around that time, and really the only difference, there's like a Rainbow Six out there somewhere, but the only difference for me with the Battlefront games was, I mean, obviously you had the content, you had the Star Wars universe there, but it was third person and that was it. Like, playing third person was the only thing that kind of separated it from
Anything else?
popping in Call of Duty Big Red 1 or whatever and playing it. And I mean, and the thing is I know you and I have talked about this, more than once, but talking about how, like, shooting games, FPSs or third person shooters, just shooters in general, they are a little bit too redundant.
Right.
Like, they need to sort of form their own.
Innovate some way.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is like, when it boils down to it, like, I think for what they did, though, because I mean, the power ups on the map, that was pretty cool. And I mean, and that's something like, that's not Star Wars fantasy. Like, you don't see that in the movies where they just walk across something and they pick up a power up. I mean, but at the same time, it's like I feel like they basically, like, they made it their own as much as they could. And again, we do have to understand that, like, this is coming from the folks that do Battlefield.
Right. DICE. Yeah.
So I mean, but the thing is that, while you could choose different guns, where this is a beta, and again, I could be completely wrong when it comes out, I did not see huge customization within the weapons.
True.
You have loadouts, but they're in the way of cards, which is interesting. I'm actually kind of surprised that they went with the route of cards.
Yeah, and I don't
like that.
That's another
seems,
thing I don't feel, and it just feels odd. It feels like why cards? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Now, I will agree. I will agree that cards is a little bit out of place. Like, okay, so what are we doing? Are we playing a deck building game now? Like, whoever has the best deck, like, loadout is gonna win.
Right.
But I mean, at the same time, though, aside from, because the thing is I mean, you can definitely tell that this is running in the Frostbite engine.
Yeah.
And it looks, I don't know, man. I think it looks fantastic. Now, you
I mean,
said
I said it. Okay, so here's how the DICE engine works. It's not like really awesome graphics. It's mediocre graphics with the contrast just railed super high. Because you can tell, like, the landscape glows because the landscape is the contrast is so high, right? Same thing with Battlefield, the Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
really good
I mean,
graphics. It
I think
looks
it
good to
works,
the
though.
eye because it's
Yeah.
sharp and its contrast is high.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it looks great, but it wasn't like it didn't feel. It's still doesn't feel like next gen to me.
Yeah, and perhaps, but I don't know, man. Like when I loaded in for the first time, because I mean, like watching YouTube videos or like live streams was one thing. Because I mean, already I was like, man, like this looks pretty awesome. Not gonna
Hmm.
lie. Um, but when I actually hopped in for the first time, especially on the Drop Zone map,
Hmm.
that's now I will say Hoth looks a bit bland. Now
Hmm.
again,
Well, it's all snow.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say that, and everybody's like, "Well, it's just for Golden Stone." It's like I get that, but yeah, like the terrain looked
Hmm.
weird. Now I will agree with you on that. The terrain definitely did look a bit weird. Like it didn't actually kind of really look like snow at all.
Right. It just
Like
looked like white. Yeah.
right. And but I do have to admit that the Drop Zone map looked really good.
Yeah.
And again, it may just be because of its rocky terrain, and and it's got different land formations and things hovered around it. There's the pool of whatever
Yeah,
acid that
that
I kept
hurts you.
falling in and dying the first couple times I played.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I think the character models look really good. I mean, the thing
They
is
look good,
that
but and again, I don't want to shit all over this because it's a beta, okay? And I know it's a
right,
beta. It's not a finished product.
right.
But the movement of the character models it has. I hope that's not going to be final
Hmm.
because it looks like you're playing on Nintendo 64 the way they move because there's hardly any movement to them.
Yeah. Well,
And
I can't remember if it was Battlefield. I can't remember if it was Battlefield or not, but I remember playing, a game on the PC that had, large maps, large
Mhm.
groups of people, and if you zoomed, like if you had like a sniper or anything that had like a really good scope on it, and you zoomed in, it got to a point where if you were so far away, I mean, all you did get was like
yeah, like
this happening.
this.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, and again, that's to cut down, that's to increase your performance when you're playing the game, so you're
Right.
not. Yeah, so I don't really count that as
Right.
like. But again, and I don't know. I guess I just really wasn't paying too much attention when I was playing, but I really didn't see that up close.
Mm.
But at the same time, I was just more. I guess I was more into
The
shooting people in the
gameplay. Sure.
face
Right. Right.
than seeing if their legs were.
And it wasn't like just like this. I
Hmm.
mean, there was times where that would happen. Again, it's a beta, so it's like the
Right,
frozen character model. But
right,
even when
right.
they're working, it's very choppy, like
Mm,
very choppy, non-fluid.
yeah.
Like you can't tell when they're sprinting. It's just the same. It's just they're moving faster.
Hmm.
And those mechanics,
Well, and
we're
it's
past that now in
yeah.
video gaming. Those need to happen. Like you need to have the whole sprint action. Even
Hmm.
Battlefield 4 does that on their last game.
Hmm.
Their engine shows you can tell when somebody's sprinting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's funny too that you mentioned that because it is one of those things where EA it's funny because I talked about this with Tiger Woods too, and I know this is kind of off the scope, but
Oh, you had a chat with Tiger Woods?
what's that?
Said you had a chat with Tiger Woods?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, might as well have. But no, no, no. So when it's not Tiger Woods anymore. It's McIlroy, but
Hmm.
it's the PGA Tour, right? So
Right.
when the new one came out, they, for some reason, stripped a lot of the content out that was in the previous PGA Tour games,
Hmm.
and and again, like I just don't understand their perspective on that. Like, did they? And the thing is they had twice the time of development
Right.
than they did in the past, and they somehow couldn't add the same, if not more, content.
Hmm.
And so it'll be interesting to see that if Battlefront comes out, that they essentially strip away bits and pieces that you saw in Hardline or Battlefield 4 or something like that. And it's like, why are you guys taking a
Hmm.
step back if that is the case? Now, I mean, I already asked that for PGA Tour,
Right.
but obviously, like you said, this is beta. It's basically, I think what they were testing was network. I think they were doing,
yeah,
yeah. I
because
mean, it
of
was
how
definitely like
terrible
stress
their launch
test.
was with 4.
Right, right, and and then of course if users can pick out bugs here and there, that's
Hmm.
great. Um, But anyway, so we finished out drops. You know, we played Drop Zone for a little while. Um,
And then
the
my mindset changed with the new game type, and yours kind of went a little back.
Yeah, so the thing was is that I had a lot of fun with the close quarters single objective game mode, the Drop Zone. So then we get into the Hoth battle, and
Now this is 40v40. Is it
immediately
40v40? No,
no, that'd
that's
be
too
80
much. 80
players.
players.
There'd be no
Is it
way.
20v20 then?
Yeah,
Or
or yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I know it's not up to 32 yet.
right.
So it's something along those lines, 28 or 25 or I don't know, whatever. But point is that we get into that and immediately I'm reminded and see but here's the thing though, it's like I call back to Battlefield,
Hmm.
but it's only because I never really liked I guess it was Rush is what it was called in the Battlefield games where one was defenders, the others was were attackers, and it always seemed like the defenders always had the benefit. Like they
Hmm.
always had the upper hand, and it was really, really super hard for the attackers to ever win. And that makes it very
It's a replay value though.
well. I mean, not even that. It's just it makes it very. The only word I can think of is hard. Sorry, I'm still trying to wake up. It makes it very difficult to want to go back and play that game mode
Hmm.
because every time that you get on the attacker's side, you're like, oh well, now I already know that I'm going to lose. So then, you already on a personal level, you're already in that mindset that you're going to lose. In which
Right.
case, basically just seals it. Now I have played on the attacker side where we have won.
Sure,
It's
it's
not
just
that it's an
rare.
impossible, yeah, but it is a lot more it's a lot more infrequent. I can't talk today. Than when people play on the defending side.
Right.
And
This one was reversed. This one it was hard to win his the defense because
I guess that's true. I guess
the
that's
AT
true.
was walking
Well, I
towards.
was just thinking the defending because you were defending the
Right, but
AT-ATs.
technically you're attacking
Right,
the rebel
right.
space. Yeah.
Yeah. So right, so reverse roles on this one. Point
But
is
still,
that
same thing though. 'Cause
yeah,
it was
point is
very
that one
one-sided.
side is very one-sided. Yeah,
Right.
the game type is very one-sided, and it makes it unappealing to want to play the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the thing is that unless you go in with a full team of whatever max player count is per team, chances are is that like yeah, you may go in with 2 or 3 or 4 people, but then you're going to have the other half is complete randoms,
Yep.
and good luck trying to coordinate and attack with them. That's another rare occurrence,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the time you get blown off by other people, and and all this other stuff. So it makes it very difficult. And again, I think that's where console versions suffer, perhaps. I mean, because the thing is like I always hear with PC it goes a lot easier because there's these online communities that people can go in and join, and then there's a whole TeamSpeak server that these people can join and
Right.
chat in and things like that, and then all of a sudden everybody's coordinating and you've got a full 15 player team all playing together.
Mm-hmm.
And with consoles, I feel like that's a little bit inhibited now. With PlayStation, the interesting thing is though is that they with this past software update they did introduce communities, and that's
Right.
basically the same thing. So like you go and you search for a Battlefront community, you find it's essentially like clans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a way. Now, I mean, there's other ones that are more general, like weird communities that I've seen out there. But I mean, there are going to be, or already are, communities out there that are like strictly like, hey, we're a team or we're a group that loves to play Battlefront. Join us. We'll work as a team. Yada yada yada. Same thing for Destiny or any other game out there. But yeah, it's one of those things where unless you go in, you really don't have a fighting chance as the attacker or the defender, whichever one has the
The advantage.
yeah. So it's right, but so yeah, I mean, but you liked it though because the map was a lot bigger.
Larger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It felt
yeah.
more like Star Wars.
Well, and again, and I will agree with you on that one because I do remember that a lot of those maps in there were very large. I mean, at least for the consoles at the time, anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
it was.
yeah.
That was. What system was that on?
It was Xbox and PS2,
Okay.
well, and PC.
Yeah, PC. I think I played it on PC. That's why I was.
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah, no, I always played mine on the Xbox,
Yeah.
just because I wasn't really into PC gaming at the time. Actually, I really wasn't into PC gaming until I built this computer like
Right.
3 or 4 years ago. So, God, hard to believe. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I had always been consoles right up until then, pretty much.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I like the way that the loadouts are. I like the way, and again, this is my one thing that I love to take away from Call of Duty is its progression and unlock system.
Hmm.
So I do like the fact that because what you can reach 5 in the beta, right? You can reach up to
Right.
5, and every time that you ranked up or got a certain amount of points in a category, I think, then you unlocked cards,
Hmm.
which were either weapons or abilities and things like that. Because aside from your blaster, everything else is an ability.
Right.
Like everything has a cooldown
Yep.
that goes anywhere from your, I guess, call them special weapons. I don't really know, like this cycler rifle, aka the sniper rifle.
Sniper. Sure.
That's an ability. It has one shot, and after you fire that shot, you have to wait for the cooldown to finish, and then you can use it again.
Hmm.
And it's not a bad cooldown. It's like you're taking a really long reload, but you
Yeah, it's
also
like
get
10
to use
seconds.
yeah, but you also get to use your weapon, your other
Right, your
weapon while it
primary.
reloads,
Hmm.
right? So it's not like you're having to sit there and go through a full like reloading animation,
Right.
and that's my reloading animation.
This is
Um,
how I reload guns.
yeah. For audio viewers, I'm just like double fisting right now. So. But yeah. So I mean, everything is an ability. Your grenades, your shields, or your jump pack, I think is what they were calling
Hmm.
it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and hence why they're cards, I guess. Again, I don't really understand. I mean, I guess to put it down for a reason that, like, yes, this is an ability. This isn't like an actual. It's not necessarily like an actual item.
Hmm.
It is a card, and then you switch out that card for something else if you want to.
Right.
Um,
Excuse me.
so yeah, so it's one of those things where I think it's the little things that are sort of dividing it from Battlefield and things
Right.
like that. So yeah, I mean the thing is that I don't think it's truly going to get a clean slate as far as like when you pop in a game and you're going to be and the farthest thing from your mind is, hey, this feels like Battlefield.
Hmm.
It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Like because unfortunately it's coming from the company that this is who makes them.
Right.
It's not like the Call of Duty situation where you do have, in a sense, you have sort of very two different Call of Duty games like every year because there's two different companies
Right.
developing these games. It's one mediocre company making it, which is in a sense unfortunate. But
Right.
I mean, but with that said though, and I sit there and I talk shit, but it's I'm gonna get it. Like
I mean, I am too.
nothing about this beta made me be like, nope, not getting it. And again, like even if it did, I'm the one to keep an open, skeptical mind and be like, hey, this is beta. Like this is not.
Yeah, and that's what I said
And in
too.
most
It's
cases, I'd
still
be like, I
beta.
hope to God that this is not the final
Right.
product, or whatever.
The only bad thing is
Most
it is
people.
DICE, so it could be the final product.
No, I know. But I mean, most people, for a lot of betas that come out, everybody thinks like this is cut, finished, done. They're shipping it out. They could ship this out tomorrow if they wanted to, sort of done. And they're just like, oh no, well this is garbage. I'm not going to pay $60 for this.
Hmm.
And of course, then months or a year later, when a game finally comes out, they end up eating their own words because they go and buy it because hey, it's not what they played.
Right.
Or in the rare occurrences, they're right, but then that's what they feed off of. So,
Right.
yeah, but I mean, that was kind of, and we played for the past 2 evenings for a little while. I mean, I'd say probably combined, we probably played for about, and I know this doesn't sound long at all, and it's not, but we probably played about 4 hours
And
over the
and
course
4
of
hours,
two nights.
it doesn't sound a lot, but there's two different multiplayer game modes with only one map and
Right.
one. So there's only two things that you can do multiplayer wise.
Right.
And then we did try the missions, I guess you want to call
Right,
them.
which the mission was really short. There
Yeah.
was only 6 waves.
Yeah, and it took us maybe not even 10 minutes to finish. So
Yeah,
10,
yeah. I mean, like
15?
10 to 15. I
Yeah.
mean, it didn't go by that quickly, but yeah, it was. in a sense of horde mode, it was very
Right.
easy,
Yes.
and it was over like that.
Yep. None of it.
Um,
We didn't. Neither one of us died. I don't think we even got below half health.
I don't think so.
So I mean, so if you're thinking like, well, 4 hours isn't long enough to test a game, it is when there's not a lot of content to test.
Yeah, yeah, and again, it's one of those things too because it's like we weren't even. I mean, we weren't testing it.
No,
Like
we weren't.
like we were just playing it. I mean,
Yeah.
and again, like the only thing is, and I hate to throw this card out every single time, but it's like I'm not in grade school anymore. I don't have a part time job. I can't sit here for 2 or 3 days in a row and do
And just
nothing
play.
but play a beta
Right.
that only gets you to level 5. I mean, for people that sit here and either stream for a living or you are in grade school or whatever, that's great for you. But don't sit here and be like, oh, like how dare they talk about the game only after playing 4 hours? And it's like in my personal opinion, I think you can experience just about all there is to
Oh yeah.
experience in that time.
Right.
I mean, you know. The thing is you're going to play it the way that you want to play it unless you sit down and you're told like, okay, go do this, this, and this during your match this game. Chances are that if you really are set to quote unquote test, you know, then you're going to have a rudimentary, you're going to have an explanation of what to do, how to do it, and then there's sandbox testing, which they'd be like, yeah, okay, go nuts and see what happens.
Right.
And that is basically like what we as consumers are doing. It's just sandbox testing and
Right.
making sure that the game doesn't fall apart when this many people
Log
do
in.
this thing and do whatever. And yeah, a lot of network testing as well, I think. But yeah. So I mean, I think, and I mean, who knows? We may still pop on this evening and play some more of it until it
Right.
ends, because it is fun. And I mean, I think that's kind of the thing to take away from it is that first impressions. While I'm sitting over here on my side and being like acting like I'm like trying to hype the shit out of it. I'm not. I'm really not. Like, but I do think that it is heading in a good direction. I definitely have liked what I've played so far. But the thing is that it most likely will not retain the original value that the previous games brought.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, this is going to be EA's rendition of Battlefront, and but like I said, their rendition thus far has me interested.
Right.
So yeah. So that was
We'll see what happens. It's only a month
Yeah.
away. It'll be out.
yeah. I mean, I will admit, because I'm not one for vehicles, but I really liked flying.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the flying in that game. So I got to fly a TIE fighter a couple of times. Is that all you, or did you get to fly
I
like
got
an
the
X-wing?
X-wing too. Yeah.
You got the X-wing? Okay. See, I only flew the TIE fighter like twice, I think. One, I accidentally kamikazed into another player, so we killed each other. That was pretty funny. The other one, I was actually in it for like the last 5 minutes of the game, and we won. What's funny is that because you're still technically in the game while it's doing all of the
Yeah, like the
points
thank
and
you
stuff.
for playing. And,
Like I kept, well, yeah. So all of that, like, because before it shows all of that, you lose control over your character or whatever. So I'm like flying around and it's like victory, and then like my TIE fighter just keeps flying and I'm heading towards this mountain and I'm like ah. And what's funny is that like it's doing that and it's counting the totals up, and then all of a sudden like you just hear like in the background of my controller kind of rumbles, and then it just said killed by yourself like on the screen. And I was like, come on, man, like the game is technically over.
Right.
Like, I don't, that's the thing. It's like I don't know that it actually like counted towards
against
my
you.
KD. Not like I care now, but it would be a thing where like in the future, like could you stop
Right.
the vehicle? Like
Right.
I don't know. But I just thought that was pretty funny that
Yeah, it's
like
hilarious.
while all of that was going on, I just felt the rumble from my controller and just like killed by yourself. I was like, great. But yeah, because I mean in Battlefield and stuff like that, like I was somewhat okay flying helicopters. I was terrible at flying jets. Don't
Yeah,
even
those
get me
are hard. Yeah.
inside a jet to try and fly that shit. But yeah. So I mean, this was a lot better. I like the controls. They're a lot more simplistic.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you get in, you've got your thrust and stuff on the left stick,
thumbstick, yeah.
and then you got your steering on the right stick, and
Right.
go to town.
It's actually
Like,
called pitch and yaw.
oh, excuse me. Yeah. Oh.
You don't steer a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving you
I
help.
do, bad God.
And this
But
is why you
anyway.
couldn't fly a jet in Battlefield.
That's right. Now, how do I turn it to the left? NASCAR reference. Anyway, moving on, I guess. I mean, yeah, I'm excited. Point being is I'm still excited for this game to come out. I can't wait. I think you and I are still kind of on that debate of whether we're going to get it on PC or PS4.
Yeah, I think
But
I did decide on PS4, but you're going to
we-
reserve it
we-
today?
we did, yeah. I think when I go out into the world, I think I'm going to put it down on a PS4 copy.
Okay.
Just because $60 is a whole hell of a lot cheaper than $60, and then
Yeah,
you know,
upgrading your
money for a new hard drive, money for
Well, you need that
perhaps
anyway,
graphics.
bro.
I know. Well, more so, I need a new graphics card
Hmm.
because my graphics card is definitely dated now, and I don't really feel like spending $400 on a graphics card. Nor can I really.
Right.
I just don't have, you know, now that I've got that care.
Right?
I've got other responsibilities to have to pay for now, but
I'm fine. I mean, I just got the PlayStation, so another game to play on it's fine with me.
yeah. Well, and it is going to be one of those things until, you know, after a while, playing consoles is still going to be kind of the way that I go.
Yeah, and I think I really liked playing on console a lot more. I mean,
It's just, yeah,
it's
I
just
mean,
easier. You turn it on, you have your controller,
Yeah.
you're done, and then you're good. That's it.
yeah.
It just sucks though because I have this super nice PC sitting here that's not used, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
I feel bad for her.
right. Well, I mean, and again, it's like I still love using my desktop, and I don't use it hardly ever anymore.
Right.
I mean, I think it gets up to the point now where Angie uses it more than I do.
Yeah.
But it's also blue screening on her, so I
Yeah,
don't,
so, I mean,
I
hey,
don't know if I really want to use
Maybe
that.
it's blue screening because it's like, hey, I want my dad back. So
Yeah,
get
like,
off
who
my-
are you? Like, it's just like that's its default, like a fainting goat.
Yeah, like security. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, but
So
anyway.
speaking of games on the PlayStation, bam.
Yeah, for
See
audio,
all the
audio viewers,
players.
he's holding up a copy of Uncharted, Nathan Drake collection, which I'm also going to pick up today.
Yeah.
But you got it last night.
I did.
I see the cellophane still on it.
Oh yeah, I haven't even opened it.
Yeah, which
I
know
probably
you-
should to get it installed.
yeah, probably. Yeah, so I think we're going to be, and again, I can't remember the last time I really did this, but I feel like you and I had discussed about just getting in a party
Mhm.
and just playing the story, like, and just have us kind of like talking. I don't remember the last time that I did that because
Yeah.
I mean, every other thing that I play
It's multiplayer.
while I'm talking to like people is multiplayer games.
I
and
don't-
I'm
I don't
just
think
playing
I've-
with that person.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in a party and just played a game and chatted.
Hmm.
If I ever played a campaign, I always had a friend over at my house watching
Right,
it.
right.
Do you have one of those friends that just likes to watch you play video games?
No,
I have one.
actually.
Dude, it's weird. Like he would just come over and be like, "Yeah, I want you play some Fallout. I want to watch some Fallout."
Mhm,
He just
mhm.
loved to watch.
Yeah,
I was
well,
fine with it. Shit, I mean, hey,
and the hobby of
watching
video game
streams.
streaming was
Yeah.
was born.
by this guy. I should.
Yeah, founded by insert name here. I don't know, but yeah. And I mean, I had you know, like certain girlfriends growing up, but I mean, of course, like we were all kids back then. So I mean,
Right.
anything to get out of your own house was enjoyable, I guess. So yeah, I mean, there would be times where, you know, I'd have
Give it a second and see if it comes back on.
Yeah.
All right, we're live. Sorry.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for that little weirdness there. But anyway, yeah. So I did date this one girl for a very short
For a hot minute.
time. For a hot minute. And she was really obsessed with the Call of Duty Zombies.
Mm.
So I remember we would play that for hours, and then she ended up like getting her own Xbox 360, Xbox Live, and all. And I remember, it was funny because I remember the night that she was setting it up. Like I wasn't there. Like I was still at my house, and it was so funny because she wouldn't pick up, like we wouldn't voice talk. Like there was no voice communication. It was all text. And so she was like, I can't get it to like connect. I can't get it. And like trying to text step by step
Oh,
instructions
dude, the
was like
worst.
irritating the shit out of
Oh
me.
yeah,
And I was like,
frustrating.
yeah, you just have to do that. I'm like, can I just like call you? And she goes, no, like I need like hands free and all this other stuff to mess with this shit that you're wanting me to do. And I'm like,
Speakerphone? Hello?
yeah, well, try talking. Yeah. So
Women.
so anyway, it got to the point where something happened where oh yeah, so I don't know how this eluded her, but she finally got it to connect online,
Mm.
and she was like, "Okay, like I'm on," and I go, "Okay, great." And it was funny because she set up her account and everything, and added her to my friends list. She accepted it or whatever, so I could see her. I'm like, "All right, well, go ahead and invite, accept my invite." So I have to talk her through like how to press the guide button. I mean, and again, it's like at the time it wasn't it was irritating, but it was kind of in the back of your mind, right? Because you're in the front of your mind, you're like, oh god, like a girl is like gonna
Yeah,
play video games, like this
with
is really
me, I
cool,
know,
yeah,
right?
and she like actually enjoys it. She's not
Mm.
forcing herself to do this for my
Right,
sake.
right.
So I'm kind of talking her through it, and it's funny because then she's like, oh, that's weird, and I'm like, what? She goes, well, it says that I need to have Xbox Live in order to play. She goes, but I'm on. Like I'm on and I'm talking to you. Like, because we were in a party chat and everything by this point,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, that's really weird. And so I'm like, well, like try inviting me. And she's like, she's like, it won't let me into the zombies mode. Like I'm just stuck in the main menu. And I'm like, that's really weird. I go, I mean, the only thing that would be wrong is that if you didn't have Xbox Live Gold or something. And she goes, what's that? And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know that you didn't know this. I'm like, you
Right.
have to pay for multiplayer service. Like, if you want to get online and play. And she was like, are you serious? And I'm like, yes. Like, you have to like pay for what they call Xbox Live Gold. She was so mad. And dude, at this point, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And she was like, well, I'm not putting my credit card in. And I go, well, I was like, I guess we don't. I guess we'll have to wait until tomorrow. And she's like, no, like, F that. Like, I spent all this time. Like, we're going to play. Give me like 30 minutes to an hour. I'll be right back. And so she leaves. She goes to Walmart because it's 24 hours here. She goes
To
to
get a
Walmart
card?
and picks up an Xbox Live Gold card.
Why
And
wouldn't you just put in her credit card?
she just wouldn't.
Hmm.
So she comes back and so like fine. But again, at this point, it's 2 in the morning, and old man McGee here.
Right,
I'm
it's
like asleep. Like I think I actually like just turned everything off because I'm like, dude, like I'll just ignore. Like if she tries to text or something, like and it wakes me up, like I'll just ignore it. Like I'll worry about it tomorrow. She blows my phone up, and it's like, okay, now it's good to talk
You
on
know
the
what? You
phone.
know what you're doing right now to all the people, like all the nerds that are watching, if they do
She's
listen to this, and he's
like,
just like,
oh my
they're
god,
so pissed off
why
at
wasn't
you.
you playing with this girl? And it's like,
Like this
dude,
is every man's dream that you're describing right
yeah,
now, and you're just like, no, I'll just ignore it.
yeah, like I'll just ignore it. Yeah, so she
Wow.
like starts blowing up my phone at this point. So finally I pick up and I'm like, hey, and she goes, are you asleep? I'm
No, I
like,
was taking a big poop. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, I kind of was. And she goes, oh, sorry. Well, anyway, I'm back on now. Let's play. And I'm like, okay, like because I like so badly just wanted to be like, no, I'm not. Like
Let's
let's
just
play
do this
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Let's
Yeah.
not worry about it. So I'm like, okay, let's go. So we stayed up all night, like because by the time that we got everything, because I had to tell her how to redeem the code and
Right,
do
right.
all this other stuff, and so it was finally about 3 o'clock in the morning when we actually started playing. And I remember we played until about 8 in the morning. And thank God at the time I didn't have to work that day,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like,
I'm
I'm not to say
crashing.
the name, but I was just like, boop, like I'm gonna go to bed. Like I think I'm literally dying. Like if I don't let my body get rest right now,
I'll die. I'll
I will
die.
pass out. I will pass out. I will pass out and I will not wake back up. And she was like, okay. So I'm like,
Well, it was new for her, so that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. So yeah, I mean that was interesting. But of course it was pretty limited because it was only zombies. I mean, that's the only thing she would play. She would not play like the bona fide
Multiplayer.
like multiplayer or anything like that. It was just zombie mode.
That's a long time to play zombies, bro.
Yeah. Um, but again, yeah, I mean, so that was kind of the only experience where I actually had like somebody of the opposite sex like actively be like, "Get on, we're gonna play,
Right? Yeah.
do this, we're gonna do this," like da 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 da. But you know, it's fine, whatever. I don't have to have girl gamers
Right. Yeah. To
to have acceptance or satisfaction in my life. So
right.
I only need you, boo. But
Thanks.
I don't even know where were we even going with this.
I don't know. We were talking about just sitting here playing this game together, and
Yeah.
then the cellophane is now off. I just wanted to
Oh,
put
right,
that
right,
out.
right. So like Xbox parties and things like that and
Yeah.
stuff. So
But I
so
mean,
yeah,
we pretty much talked.
yeah. I mean, the thing is I'm super stoked to go back through and play all of them. I
See,
played.
I never played them. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, you're in for a treat because and it's funny because like I would give quite a bit to have and in some way I will experience it for the first time again, but it's like to have that true first experience with those games was awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean the immersion was insane for these games, and I hope I can still get that when I go back
I'm
through.
kind
And
of
play.
sad that they don't have the multiplayer. When we talked about
Yeah,
it yesterday, it really.
yeah, yeah. So, but at the same time, like I kind of understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for heaven's sakes, it could turn out to be like the Halo multiplayer,
Right.
where it just never works for some reason, and it's like, I would rather just experience the single player and have that work flawlessly than try to like
Put
play
too
a
much in.
multiplayer that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, but I mean, all in all, though, yeah, I am kind of bummed that they didn't have the multiplayer for it because, I mean, again, it's just something else that you and I could play together. You know,
Right.
but you know, I think it'll be just one of those things where like I'm not gonna lay, the pedal to the floor and just like burn through these. Like I
Oh
think it's
yeah, I
gonna
don't
be
want to
something.
either.
And again, like and in some cases, I think you have more opportunity than I do. But like, it'll be that kind of downtime, like where one of us isn't on,
Mm-hmm.
and so the thing is like, okay, well, I'm gonna pop in Uncharted and play this until you get on, and then we're gonna probably play Destiny,
Right.
or at some point in the future, some other multiplayer game.
Right.
Um, but I mean, most of the time, the only time I get that um, opportunity is when it's the weekend
Mm-hmm.
and I'm up at 5, which puts it
Right.
at like 2 o'clock in the morning your time. So you're probably just like laying down or have only been asleep for like an hour.
Right.
So yeah. And again, like another thing too is it's like I have this opportunity, and like I still don't take it to finish Batman. I still have not finished Arkham Knight yet,
Right.
and I have got to, like, it's to the point where it's like I've almost got to force myself to play it, and I don't want to do
Mhm.
that to myself.
Right.
But it is one of those things where it's like I'm getting ready to have to get to be at that point where I'm just like I'm sitting down, I'm playing Arkham Knight, I'm finishing the damn like main storyline. If I don't complete the side quest or anything, like that's fine. I just want to complete the main story just so I know what the hell happens,
Right.
and I'll shelf it until I actually want to go back and play it.
Right.
But yeah, so it's just Destiny, man. There
know,
is
it's just-
something
there's-
seriously up with this game,
don't
and
know.
why I don't want to play anything else.
I even like it more now that I have a PlayStation. And it doesn't make any sense because I had so much on the Xbox and I have so little on the PlayStation. But then maybe that's it. Maybe that's why. Maybe I want to get all my stuff again. But we named that episode the couple episodes ago perfectly. It's addicting. The itch is real.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, there's something really really wrong with this game, and that it's just so damn good. But yeah, so I think that you were going to.
it's not even like news about Halo. Is that what
Okay.
we're going into?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just it's when I got rid of my Xbox, apparently all the feelings I had about Microsoft also kind of got pushed, except for
Right.
the Windows. Like Windows, that always will be my love child because
Mhm.
it's Windows and I just can't get enough. I don't like Mac and all that stuff. But anything dealing with Xbox, I should say. So
Mhm.
I did read something last night too, right before I was laying in bed. The interview with Phil Spencer. Did you see it?
The one where he
Says
admitted that
PS4
PS4
wins.
is better.
Yes, did you read the whole thing?
Not all, but
So,
yeah.
I mean, it struck me like this is it because he was saying that the the biggest problem with the Xbox launch, and I'll go to Halo after this.
Hmm.
But the biggest problem with the Xbox One, the launch, the whole console in general, is that they lost. They didn't lose a lot of customers. They lost their most loyal customers.
Hmm.
He's like, we still have a lot of customers, but we lost a lot of our loyal ones.
Yeah.
I have, like I said, hated PS4, hated Sony. I didn't want anything to do with anything that had to do with PlayStation. Didn't even buy it. There was a TV when we were shopping for our TVs. There was a Sony right next to it. Looked better.
Hmm.
A little bit
And you were
more
just like,
cost-
no, it's Sony.
Sony, I can't do it. Yep. Then I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it
Yeah.
because I was just so against them. And
Right.
now I can't. I don't even like talking about Xbox. Like it just sickens me
Hmm.
because of
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
It's just a big heavy turd. Is basically what that console is.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, and it was one of those things where it's like, even the Xbox 360 caught a lot of flack when it came out, and and I went through the four consoles as far as the overheating problems concerned and things like
Yeah, I
that. I kept upgrading to the newer one when it came, when it would come out. So, well, I didn't get the E model because that was
I did the
trash.
Elite thing, or was that?
Is the one that came out right when the Xbox One did? You
Oh,
never
no, I
owned that
didn't.
one.
No.
No. It was the one that was like really like curved, and they had proprietary cables. It was a joke.
Wow.
That console was an absolute joke. But anyway, that's beside the point. But
I
yeah,
never
yeah.
knew
So,
about this.
well, it was very. It wasn't desired. Like
Right.
people already had a console. The only thing that was kind of the selling point at the time was that it had a 500 gig hard drive in it. That was standard. That wasn't like, oh, there's a 500 gig model and a 250 gig. There was you could either get a 4 gig model or you could get like a 500 gig. I think
Gotcha.
maybe
Like the arcade. The
maybe
Xbox
there was a
arcade version.
250 gig. I don't know. Point is that they were really pushing like the 500 gig model
Sure.
with that one. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, even back when like 360 was out, like you said, like I was diehard, but then I broke down and got a PS3, and I think ever since then, like my mind started opening a little bit more and more towards Sony because like I had a PS3, and by no means did that trump the 360 in any way,
I
but
would say the 360 definitely beat the PS3 in console wars.
yeah, but I mean it. I still played the PS3. I still liked it to some extent, especially for the exclusives and things like that. And it's just like now with the Xbox One, I did love it when it first came out and things like that.
I
But
did
then,
too. Yeah, I was like,
but
I
then
think
like
it was,
slowly,
It's almost like that. You know how like when you first start dating a girl and everything about them is just wonderful.
Yeah,
And then like
yeah.
a couple months into the relationship, you start noticing all the things that are wrong.
right,
Like,
right, you
wait,
start getting really nitpicky
She
and
always
really
do
judge.
that.
Yeah.
You always date with your mouth open. I don't
Does she freeze when I try to open up the friends list? Like I've never noticed that before, but yeah, it seems kind of like
Now
a
that I
problem
think
now.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, she does do that all the time. Does it take 30 seconds to open up an app and sometimes it times out? Yeah, it actually happens quite a
And then
bit.
crashes your entire system. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Turd.
so just over time, like it just started to kind of go south, and then going back to the loyalist thing, my heart for, and I know this sounds really gay, or not gay. Sorry.
We
I'm not
support gays.
Yeah. It sounds really lame saying this, but it really was like when the Master Chief Collection came out, and that was just the biggest pile of shit that I'd
yeah.
ever witnessed in my like. I want to say that as far as gaming's concerned, that's the biggest pile of
Worst
shit
one
that I've
ever.
ever witnessed in my life.
Yep.
And-
There's nobody can argue with that either.
Yeah,
because
it's
that-
like- it's like,
it
dude,
didn't
it's like-
work. Nothing worked.
Yeah.
So how worse can you get?
Right. It's like, and again, and I know that we've said this before, so I'll try not to step over, the same material again, but it's like, dude, I've played shitty early access games that are more stable than
Yep.
when that game came out.
Yeah.
And even now, it struggles. Like, it still is not that playable of a game. I mean, and it's just,
Do
once
you,
that happened.
I read a comment
Hmm.
yesterday about this, and I was like, and that's why they don't care that it doesn't work. This guy was basically mouthing off to, of course, it's over Facebook, so
Hmm.
you know. But it was a Halo where I saw the whole Halo bro news, which is I have on the topics over here. Um, but it was apparently a bunch of people were on there saying, like, I'm not gonna give you my money 343. I already gave you my money for the Master Chief Collection, and it still does not work to this day. And this guy gets on there, and he was like, all these bitches coming in here keep saying about I'm not gonna give you my money because the Master Chief Collection doesn't work. Nobody cares about your shit anymore. We've heard it. Get over it. Move on. Halo 5's gonna be awesome, and that's all we need to worry about. And I was like, and that's why they don't care. That's why they don't care, and that's why they put all their attention on Halo 5. And they were just like, well, we already got our money for MCC. Who gives a shit? And that's
Yeah.
basically what it is now, because people like that, right? So then I was
Hmm.
like, well, I have to click on this article because I just have to. It's Halo.
Yeah.
So they went. I'm so glad I don't have an Xbox and I'm not going to experience this
Hmm.
because remember how when we were playing the beta, how very broy it was when they walked out, like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and they
yeah.
were
Like
like high
the
fiving and like
right.
just
Yeah,
started like
and the
jerking
wind.
each other if they
Yeah,
won. Yeah, it's
the
the
wind
win
screen was
emote
like
thing.
them basically just taking their rifles and just shoving it up each other's
Yeah,
assholes
just
because
like yeah,
they
we
just
won.
yeah just got off on it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
so
so
go
so that's broy, right? Like very
right.
like beer pong. We just won the beer pong championship,
Hmm.
and we didn't win anything because we're in college and we're drinking. So you didn't really win nothing. But that's how it felt, right? Now they're adding Halo Rex, REQS. I guess that stands for requisitions. I don't know. They put so much into this game that does not need to be there.
Hmm.
When you pick up, there's like a collectible trading card. Oh, I just got this headshot kill. Now I can go in and see my little trading card that I
So
got
it's like
for.
medals, but a step further.
Yeah, but why? And then there's like all they went. There's like some thousand pieces of customization that you can give your Spartan, and I'm just like thousands. Why do we need this? There's no
Yeah.
reason for Halo. For Halo, you have
Mm.
to understand that the
I mean,
loyal Halo fans won't need that.
yeah, some customization does keep the game fun
Yeah,
because it
sure.
does kind of give you that uniqueness. You don't, but you also need to make sure that your game works before you start
Right,
throwing in aesthetics.
right.
Don't. I mean, but that's the thing. Unfortunately, is everybody's into customizing to the fullest extent that it's not necessarily that these people even worry about a game working now. They're like, oh man, like you can customize your Spartan. That's pretty cool. Like I
This.
don't want.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I forgot. This is why I had to mention this to you.
Hmm.
So there's three different rec packs, right? There's a bronze, a silver, and a gold.
Oh, microtransactions.
Yes.
Yeah.
$1.99 to $2.99 per pack. Are you
Now, is this all
kidding
aesthetics,
me?
or is this going to give an advantage to
Oh, it's
players?
probably gonna give an advantage.
Yeah, because
So
if
there's
it's
like there's the rec card sneak peek. There's assassinations. There's weapon skins. There's different armor, visors, vehicles, power weapons.
like, so when you say vehicles and power weapons, is that customizations to those weapons, or
Yeah, so
is
the
it
Warthog
okay?
anti-tank configuration fitted with a heavy gauze cannon. You can buy that instead of unlocking it, so you can pay to win.
Yeah,
Here's a
okay.
twin missing its sibling, advanced binary rifle modified with dual beam emitters that enhance the rifle's auto armor utility. You can buy that now with microtransactions. So
Cool.
this game just went from the best, most competitive. I don't care who you are. If you hate Halo, that's fine. Back in the day, it was the most competitive
Hmm.
multiplayer game out ever. It's what changed competitive multiplayer. It set the limit and
I
the
mean, it was
standard.
kind of. I mean, if anything to compare it to at the time, I would say probably like the Unreal
Like
games.
yeah, I was gonna say Unreal
Yeah.
Tournament. That game's
Hmm.
super competitive too. But this was like
Yeah.
the really first console like heavy tournaments were made, like actual like $1 million championships. Like it was a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
And now they went to freaking microtransactions, dude. Oh my God, I am so glad
Yeah.
that I hopped off that freaking
Right,
bandwagon.
right. Well, and see, here's the thing too, because I know, in a world where we would actually have thousands of viewers that would kind of talk back to us,
Right.
I'm just going to go ahead and throw this down. Now, yes, we are aware that Destiny is also receiving microtransactions. That is
Only aesthetics.
purely aesthetic. Yeah, it's not pay to win. Like Bungie actually came out in their weekly update when they talked about it. Like that was kind of their after they did their first little spiel about like yes, this is and I can't even remember they gave this person a name, but it used to be the special orders vendor where
Hmm.
you got promotional stuff. That's where you went to go get it if you accidentally deleted it or wanted to delete it to make room and then wanted to go back and get it. Yada
Right.
yada yada. So they are bringing her back, and now she's going to be the microtransactions vendor. But she right now they said that she's only for emotes.
Yeah.
So like
Like the
emotes, and
new
I think
dancing
like
and stuff like that.
what's that?
Like the new dancing. For
Yeah,
people who
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
what
yeah.
emotes are, like your character can
Right.
wave or bow or
Right. Or jerk
stupid
off or
stuff.
something
Yeah,
like that.
stupid
Yeah,
stuff. Like,
yeah, and you pay using like silver coins or something, which again, you can buy that in the marketplace of either
sure,
Sony or
Microsoft, right?
Microsoft using real USD currency or whatever
Hmm.
currency you guys use out there in the world. But yeah, but I mean that's the thing though is that it's only going to be aesthetics. Like they made sure when they put out they were like this is not pay to win. You're not boosting your character. You're not boosting your weapons.
Right.
You're not buying. I mean. You're not buying exotics in the sense that if you go ahead and throw down like $3, $4, $5, that you're going to get an exotic engram,
Right.
and
Yeah, you can't do that.
yeah, you're still gonna have to buy. You're still gonna have to collect
Grind.
you still have to grind, collect the strange coins, and buy them from Xur if you want to do that every week.
Right, right.
Um, but on that note, if it ever does for some reason come to that,
Oh, well, stop
my
playing. We already said.
yeah. I mean,
And
I'll
they
try to
won't. They won't. They
yeah.
won't. And but see, when we compare Halo to Destiny doing microtransactions, I don't care what Bungie says. Okay, I know they hate saying that this is an MMO, but
Mhm.
it is.
Mhm.
Microtransactions. That's where these have always been is in MMO games for stuff like that because you just get really into your character and people like spending the extra money to get a rare skin that nobody else might have or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
those
Well,
microtransactions have existed for a long time.
yeah. Well, and you have to think too. It's like aside from doing your map packs and things like that, because you're already paying for those map packs. Microtransactions are needed for games like this because they're also generating new content that is
Hmm.
essentially free.
Right.
And Destiny is starting to do that, where new daily missions are coming into play,
Yeah, which is cool.
or just sort of just entered in, like the new sleeper simulant weapon quest finally got added in. But
Right.
that was free. Like all you had to do was play the game,
Yep.
and lo and behold, if you had finished the prereq to unlock that mission, then you're on your way to do that. And
Hmm.
so I can understand to a point that microtransactions for MMOs and other games where content delivery is free
Right.
is warranted because you do need some sort of substance
To keep it going.
to keep it going.
Sure.
Right.
Halo doesn't need it.
Yeah.
There's no to me, I don't care what Halo became, it should have never had microtransactions involved.
Mhm.
Ever.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, the thing is that you're still going to make your map packs and all this other stuff that you're going to charge people to buy. Same thing with Call of Duty. I think now again, Call of Duty is still doing aesthetics, which as long as it's aesthetics, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Do not make it pay to win. You know, shitty mobile games, fine, have your pay to win because I don't play those games, so I
Yeah,
don't give
I
two
know.
shits about whether that's pay to
Right.
win or not. Don't do it for real games. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I just call it out there. Mobile games aren't
They
real
are
games.
They're not.
Like, I mean, it's something that you can throw up on your phone for 5 minutes while you're waiting in a doctor's office or something.
that's the
Like
only
that's
time.
it.
Right,
That's
exactly.
it. Like
Nobody
I don't,
sits down and is like, "Hey, on, I'm gonna play this game for like 2 hours."
Yeah. Well,
They might.
there are
They might,
there
but
are,
it's
but there
not-
are people out there. But you know, for someone, it just seems. And again, I'm going to say this as if if you can quote me on saying that nobody does this. There are people out there that will. So I'm just going to say I can't imagine
Mm,
that anybody that would sit here and play PC games and play console games as their main hobby or whatever to then go sit down and play Candy Crush
Hmm.
religiously and
Right.
pay for continues and pay for power ups just so that they can continue their game. It's like, dude, just play the game.
Right.
And yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but you're also not shelling out like $50 or however much money that you're going to spend, which spending a cent on any game like that, like, it just
Yeah.
my
Hmm.
mind.
Right.
So I mean, so yeah, that's my instance of saying that like mobile games are not real
Hmm.
games. Now of course some people are like, well, what about games like Hearthstone and things like that? Hearthstone is a real game. You can
Right.
play that on the computer. You can play that, whatever, and you can play it on mobile devices. And like Minecraft in a sense is a real game. They've got it on console. They've got it on, you there is a difference between like playing a game that is compatible with mobile
Right.
devices and then like playing a flat out mobile
Developed for mobile.
game.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then of course some people are like, well, you can buy packs with the Hearthstone game. And again, I'm like going so above and beyond trying to cover my bases for people that aren't ever going to say anything. But it's like people are like, well, yeah, I mean, you pay to win for Hearthstone. Yeah, it's also a deck building
I was
game.
gonna say you have to go and buy
So
real trading cards when
so
you
what's the difference for you going out and buying your Pokemon deck at
right.
Walmart and
Or going
buying
on eBay and
booster
buying a specific card.
yeah, or buying booster packs to try and make your that's the point.
Yeah, it's like you're collecting these cards because you like it, and then you just
Yeah.
play the game as a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, again, there's so many variables that I
Right.
could crazily go
But
into.
we still agree that Halo doesn't need
Right, right,
microtransactions.
right. It boils down to anybody that says that microtransactions and pay to win is okay.
Go
No.
kill yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry, because I don't agree with you at all.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
if
mean,
if pay to win is fun for you, then you're not a true gamer. There's
nope.
no way you can be, because if you are just like, well, if I can shell out $60 for a game, and then if I want to win all the time, I can put out another $60. Yeah, I'll just do that.
Okay.
Well, then you're not a gamer then, because you just
Yeah.
took out all the competitiveness, you took out all the excitement and fun and challenge of collecting it yourself and working for something. Sorry,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
just to me, if pay to win's okay for in your book, then I know we don't have any viewers anyway, but don't come back to this channel because I don't like you.
yeah. Yeah.
Sorry to be
Um,
so harsh, but it's the God's
right.
honest truth.
Right. Well, it's inconceivable to me that anybody would spend hundreds of. And again, like the only time is and like it don't even get me started on League of Legends because I don't even want to talk about how you pay for champions and things like that because I don't play that game enough. I don't play that game at all, so I don't care. Like,
Right.
I mean, that's my opinion on that. So for people that are just like, well, League of Legends pay to win, Dota's pay to win, it's like,
Dota, you can unlock them without paying for them.
right, and also
League of Legends, you
League
do.
of Legends,
Yeah, but you got to work really hard.
right.
I used to play League, and I played it
Yeah.
pretty religiously for a while.
But I mean, that's kind of a territory that I really don't want to get into.
Yeah, all I'm gonna
So,
say is that you can play that with the characters that are giving you to on free rotation, and as long as you're a good player, you can still win.
yeah. So,
That's all I'm gonna say.
but
yeah.
anyway, I think that's good. I think we're
Yeah,
now
we're
that,
over the
now
hour
that, now that
mark.
we're done yelling at our fake viewers.
Yeah.
I think it's about time to wrap
And I
up.
think the
So,
people that would actually would come in here, they're gonna agree with us because I feel like 99.9% of the people are against pay to win.
mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean, every time I look at threads and articles and things like that, most of the time it is negative. It is negative.
yeah, it has a negative
So,
vibe
connotation.
To it, so, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely. But anyway, that puts us at an hour. I think that's the first time we've gone a full hour in a while. So catch us back next week.
Yep.
Um,
We're gonna
as
try it
always.
Saturdays again.
Yeah, always you can catch us on YouTube. YouTube. Well, I guess we don't have that.
The special one.
Yeah, but anyway, just go to YouTube search, type in TheOleNoodle, one word, lowercase, and you should be able to find us. You can watch our past episodes. So if you missed on anything or want to hear us yell at fake viewers some more, just check us out on there. And SoundCloud, we're still trying to get that worked out.
They are up. They are up. The
Okay.
last two have been put on, and I will try and get this one on today. I'll get
Gotcha.
on
Well,
today.
so the thing is that we can't archive unless we pay. We're we're tightwads, so we're not going to pay for SoundCloud.
If we had a good viewer base, then I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's them's the bricks. But yeah, if you want to catch up on past and all you can do is audio, sorry, my friend, you're gonna have to go to YouTube on your
Yeah.
downtime and just watch, or minimize the window and leave, and just leave the volume up so you can hear us talk. But yeah, right now, as far as going back and watching or listening to all of our previous shows, YouTube's the way to do it for
Yeah.
now, till we figure out something else, or people start contributing, and then
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
can put all of them up on SoundCloud for your listening enjoyment. But anyway, until then, catch us next time, and we'll see you then.
Take care.
Bye bye.